Okay, so kids are in bed, and I obviously watched Children of the Comet earlier, and I took notes and all that other good stuff, so I made, obviously, notes. First thing, I also watched your video, and I agree with a lot of the things that you said in it. Um, for this episode, I love that we finally, gave Ahura a backstory with the whole Kenya and losing her family and stuff like that. Like, that's great because we never did that before. It was totally like, oh, look, our token black lady from TOS. So it's nice to have known that there was some background for Ahura and that it was just complicated. They were setting up that whole thing of something so tragic that you laugh. I was actually expecting Spock to laugh at her horrible story because setting up the whole thing and just proving how off base he is about stuff. But I'm glad they saved it for later when he was through the shit show of the storm. But it was intense, and I enjoyed that we finally gave her some meat instead of just, the pretty black lady who hails people and occasionally flirts with Spock. So good, give me more of that. One of the things that I thought was interesting was you had mentioned it as well, Uhura and Spock. What I liked that they did here, it wasn't just Uhura and Spock. It was actually, I feel like there was a minor flirtation with Ortega's too. And I would be all here for it if our Uhura was bi, in or pan or something. So into it. You know what I mean? Because it's something that, we definitely didn't explore before, but she seemed like just a very sensual into everybody creature, and I would love if they made her bi here. That'd be great. Like you said, Kelvin was the only place they really did that, but whatever. One of the things that I think truly I loved in all of Ahura's character was her flat out being like, nah, I want to be on Starfleet. I just did it because where else am I going to go? I feel like everyone who's on Star Trek or Starfleet is like, I'm Starfleet for life, forever. So it's nice to actually have someone say it out loud. To be like, I don't want to do this for fucking ever. You know what I mean? I loved how everybody was like, what the hell? When she said it. Good. Show a difference of opinion. I don't feel like everybody is going to be all Starfleet all the time, one of us with everything. So it's nice that there is a character who's not really sure what she wants to be doing with this. And I love even more that it was Uhura. But yeah, no, that part was great. Finally having someone be like, nah, Starfleet ain't my thing forever. From the get. She's a cadet and she's flat out like, nah, I think I'm that was great. So one of the things I was a little confused about, we did meet Andorans before, the little antenna guys before in not Discovery. The very first one. I can't think of it right now. Baculus. We met them then, but were they all blind? That's where I got a little messed up. We met that Endor Hemmer. I guess you talked about him too. Are they all blind or just that dude is blind? Because I feel like we never really touched on that. It's not like it really, I care or it matters or anything like that. But I did kind of like the whole, everybody keeps saying, I liked that too. When Hemmer was like, everybody always trying to help me. Everybody's trying to always do whatever. I like that she explained look, it's just my nature to want to help you. And he's like, nah, I'm good. And she like fine then, whatever. And he's like, I like her. That was that entire interaction between Uhura, Spock, and Hemmer was probably one of my favorite bits of the episode, because it was kind of watching the dynamic and how you said it really well. She could give a shit. She's pretty confident, but it is also it's one thing to, like you said, no, she knows, she was like, I know 37 languages, 22 of which are from Kenya's various whatever. She did that, and there's one thing for her to be confident in her abilities. It's another thing for her to be confident in her abilities to put those into practice. She is inexperienced. That's one area she's not confident in. So I thought that was really cool. You put that really well. She's confident in who she is, but not confident in what she can bring to the team. And I think a lot of that has to do with her not really caring about Starfleet until she's on the mission, and then she's like, well, shit, maybe I do care about this. And, it's giving her a purpose. I feel like, oh my god, now I'm forgetting all of these things. Whichever one Bakula was on, the Asian chick that was on that, I feel like they're trying to make Uhura that here. And, like, I get it that chick was the basis. Why am I forgetting everybody's names? You know what? It's late, and I'm tired, and I forget everybody's names. I just know Scott Bakula is, like, a name I always know. So, yes, I feel like they're going to do that. I just hope they don't do it too much, because I want more for Uhura than we did for the poor little Asian girl who ultimately died in the concentration camp or whatever. Let's see. Music and singing. You know that's my jam, right? Like, that is, like, my jam. Like, the fact that they're all, like, harmonizing across it, that was awesome. And, like, I know it's an Uhura trait, but I also like the concept of, let's make Spock sing as well. And I like, he was like, what? Or, like, he knew it needed to happen, and he knew enough about music, which I found very attractive when he knew all that stuff about music. But that was fun. I like music and singing, and I thought it was a clever way to, I know you think it's corny, but I thought it was clever, because I love that. It was a clever way to communicate, because music is math, and, like, I love the concept of, like, yeah, there are some species out there that they communicate through sounds, you know what I mean? And the sounds are like singing. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that ultimately, I liked the moment when Uhura figured out what was going on, and she sang a song that turned off the force field, and I was like, what? I want to know what that fucking song was, brah. Like, you gotta let me know. I was a little, thrown, because instead of, like, finding the magic song to make them not hit the planet, instead they're like, we're gonna use magical heat shields to make the comet not hit the planet. Like, what? What does one have to do with, like, we just figured this out and we have this capability, and then, like, they were like, put on heat shields, and then put on super duper heat shields, and then put on super duper duper heat shields. And it was like, what? What are we doing here? Like, are we, like, nudging the planet with hot? Like, that didn't really sync with me, but whatever. Suspend disbelief, and Spock did it or something. But yeah, that's kind of like, I feel like they were like, we can't have her do, like, a grand opera to go ahead and make the thing move, so let's just throw fire at it. Like, it was just odd. It kind of took me out of the moment for a minute, because I was like, I guess we're doing this? We're doing hot? And had it not been for Pike being like, at least I'm not touching you, then I think I would have been more, like, what the fuck is this? But, Pike's little, I'm not touching, so you can't tell, was, like, part of, what I enjoyed about that scene. Had it not been for that, I would have been over it. What's the other part? The part where Uhura basically says to Spock, she's like, sir, you're really good at reminding people of deadlines. And then, like, Pike is like, I know! I laughed out loud. I, like, guffawed for that. And then my brain was like, fuck, he's done that the entire Spock lifetime. Like, that is his jam right there, to remind you of the upcoming deadlines. I swear to God, I can think of, like, 3 TOS examples where I'm like, Spock, shut the fuck up. We know. You know what I mean? Like, I like that we finally called it out. Let's see. I agree with you that there's so much old stuff in here that I love, but there's also new stuff. Like, there's also giving Uhura more time, giving Ortega some more time, putting more soul towards Pike with him having, like, a captain's dinner or some shit. There's a lot about it that I really like that feels new and fresh, but with the same attitude of, like, the old stuff. For some reason, one of the themes that I kind of love, and I know it's, like, odd, but, like, I kind of love that we always seem to keep, every other episode, like, a bad guy shows up on the viewfinder, makes some threats, and then runs away real quickly. Like, that is their like claim to fame when it comes to like anything. So it reminded me of like Gul Dukat occasionally going ahead and being like, I'm going to get you, haha, and then leaving. Very similar to what this dude was doing. So it kind of, I don't know, it reminded me of Gul Dukat for some reason, but I liked it that way because of it. Um, I During this episode, I really had a thought of Una dying. Like, I'm wondering what is the thing that, like, first of all, moves Spock up the ladder. Second of all, breaks Pike a bit. We don't see Una in the future. Maybe she, went on to live a normal life or something like that. But I have a feeling that something horrible is going to happen, and it's going to be like Una dying or something. And you mentioned like the doctor dude who I fucking love as well. The problem is the doctor dude's only been in one episode so far. I'm only seen two, but like he's only been in one episode so far. So like I'm not as invested. Whereas with Una, because I watched the shorts, I'm invested. So yeah, I have a sneaking fear that Una is going to die at least before the end of the show. One small thing I wanted to bring up to you is like in the middle of what's his face, Pike talking smack to the bad guy. He's like, pause communications. Like, how does one pause a communication? And like, what is the dude on the other line doing? Is he like, hello? Anybody there? Hello? You know what I mean? Instead, I'm imagining like, can you give me a moment with my team? Team mute line. And like, ta-da! You can't pause that because you like fucking tell the guy you're pausing and you're muting or something like that. Like, it seemed, I got a little thrown off because I was like, is that the right word for it? Like pause communications because it's paused? I don't know. It's weird. What else did I have? So there's a lot of things. Pike, I absolutely agree with you as far as Pike is concerned. There's so much about him that I really love. I know he gets his sad, happy ending, but part of me, like I said, I keep going back to the whole, like, Dr. Smith thing with the astronaut in the desert or some shit, where it's, like, really a robot or something. I kind of want this Pike to have a different ending. Even if it's sad, even if it breaks my heart. But the concept of him being stuck in the robot thing and knowing about it now kind of like kills the joy in the journey a little bit. Especially when, like you said, they keep talking about it. Again, only 2 episodes. I kind of want him to forget about it a little bit. And then remember something happening to remind him of it. I feel like maybe they were trying to walk it back a little bit in this. In that the moment he asked Uhura what her 10-year plan is, he's like, 10-year plan. You know what I mean? Like, watching it bother him for a moment. But then we came back to it. If he had just done it that one time, it would have been totally fine. But he just kept coming, like, we just kept seeing his face and then whatever. I was like, come on, dude. Stop talking about this. Like, get on with the rest of your day. Like, move forward with your life. I don't really care about the nurse chick at all. I mean, maybe you should, but I don't care because I didn't care about the original one. Yeah, she's flirty and sexy and stuff like that, but meh. The Noonien Singh girl, also don't care about her either. Like, I can't find myself digging her at all. Again, Spock and Pike are my favorite characters on the show. Uhura's growing because she's great. Ortega's I like. I like the whole, like, heard you were the best pilot and we were talking smack. Show me what you got. And she's like, bring it, bitch. Like, I enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of anybody else in the show that I wanted to mention. No. Last thing was at the very end, I really loved, the one, as much as I just said that, which I think is stupid, I loved that, that Pike did know all the names of all the people, all the whatever, and you don't think, like, you know that in the future it's going to happen, like you said, the timeline you were working through, you know it's going to happen, but, like, you don't think about how old these people are when it happens and stuff like that. Like, nice little touch, like you said, that they're, like, they're preteens now, because you don't think about them ever having, like, when I'm thinking of, the poor folks that die on Enterprise, I don't think about who they were as kids. I just think about, like, nameless red shirt number 5. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But it was interesting how you basically see all these little kids, and the part of me that loves Pike and wants him to stay is like, just don't fucking do it. Now that he had the thing with like little kids, I'm like, God damn it, now I'm invested. Now I'm like, you got to do it. You got to save these 5 little kids because they're someone's kids and they have mommies and daddies and brothers and sisters and grandmas and grandpas. Like, that was well done because I was less invested in their survival until he showed them as little kids. And then I was like, God damn it. So, yeah, that was well done. Anyway, I'm about to go start watching the 3rd episode. I don't know if I have enough time to go ahead and do a 3rd one tonight, but if not, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll make more notes and we'll talk about it soon. All right, bye.